Namaste everyone, I hope you are well. Today's session is just going to be a short session on pranayama, a few different practices for us to help us develop our immune system, to help our lungs, to help our breathing, and making sure that we're really trying to keep strong and healthy during these times. So just a few things to remember before we begin. If you feel like you are struggling with any of the sitting positions, you're welcome to use a pillow. You can place it underneath your knees. If you're doing Ardha Siddhasana, which is your left heel in front or your right leg on top, in front as well. And the same goes for Sukhasana. If you want to put the pillow underneath your leg, you're welcome to do so. And the other option to sit in is Vajrasana. So if you're on your knees and this is nice and comfortable, by all means sit like this. And if you have a pillow, you can just tuck it in underneath your bottom to help you raise yourself slightly so you're nice and comfortable. So these are three different positions that we can sit in when we're doing our pranayama. Please remember that when we're doing these practices, we want to make sure that we're not moving our positions in between the practices. So finish the cycle, finish your practices, and then if you need to readjust and be more comfortable, then make sure we're doing so. So I'm going to sit in Ardha Siddhasana today, and the idea is we want to make sure that as much of our body, especially the lower part, is making contact with the floor. And when it makes contact with the floor, that's when we're able to sit in that position for longer periods. The next thing we want to remember, and this is especially for those people who are practicing at home with other people in the room or in a smaller area, just making sure that the toxins and everything, the things that we no longer need in our body, especially our lungs, the things that we're taking out, to minimize the spreading of those. Just a few things you can do. The first thing is to light a little candle. You can light a divo or a deep. So this is with clarified butter, making sure it's with clarified butter because that's cleansing. And the second thing you can do is to light an incense stick. So some agarbatti, if those of you know. So a nice incense stick, but not keeping that near you when you're doing your practices. Just leave it somewhere in the room and we can just make sure we're flushing away the things that we're flushing out from our bodies out of an open window if possible. Okay, so just a few things we can do. And at any point, if you feel yourself becoming lightheaded or anything is becoming strenuous, please make sure you stop. So we're going to start with our practices now. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some omkars. Omkars are a brilliant way of activating the organs from the base of the stomach all the way up to the head to really bring those anxiety and stress levels down and to make sure that we're using our breath in a nice continuous flow and controlling it, stimulating it, and filling our bodies and the surrounding area with some nice positive vibes. So we'll begin with Chinmaya Mudra, thumb and index finger touching on our knees, sitting up nice and straight. And making sure we're slightly leaning back. Try not to strain your hips as you're sitting. And nice big smiles on our faces, ready for our practices. And just before we get comfortable, if there's anyone that wants to go and grab a box of tissues or something like that and just keep it near you, you're more than welcome to, because when we start pushing things out, when we start doing the later kriyas that we're going to do, you might need to give yourself, just wipe the noses a little as we're doing so. So if you want to go and do that, you can go and do that. So we're going to continue in Chinmaya Mudra. We're sitting up. So keep the abdomen open, uncurve the base of the spine, align the back of the neck and the base of the spine. Close your eyes and your mouth nice and lightly. Relax the tongue from the roof of the mouth. And as you chant Ah, we'll feel the vibrations in the base of the stomach. As you chant O, they move into the chest. And as you chant Ma, they'll move into the face region. And hopefully we can finish either at the tip of the nose or right at the tip of the head. So 3 rounds of Omkar together. Inhale. Just gulp your saliva, relax your throat, and lightly with a few blinks, just open the eyes. A few things to remember when we're doing our omkars is to try and make sure that each vibration is of the same or similar length if possible, and trying to minimize the opening of the mouth so you can really feel the vibrations deep inside the body. And lastly, when we're inhaling, try not to lean forward and really push yourself up and extend too much, okay? Just let the lungs come up naturally. And there's a few variations you can do for omkars. Consistently, 3 rounds of 3 always work really well. Or if you're doing this with a group of people, trying to practice in your own time, no restrictions, not waiting for anybody else, A, O and Ma. Everyone's starting at the same time, and then in your own time continuing your omkars is always good, because then you'll have variations of A, O and Ma floating around, which is a really, really nice atmosphere. So we'll start off with Anulom Vilom after our omkars. This is a nasal passage cleansing exercise where you will be using your thumb and your 4th finger. So when you're doing these practices, making sure you're being very slow, no pressure, and imagining that there is a feather underneath your nose which you are trying to not disturb. So breathing as slowly as you can. So we want to try and make sure we're activating both of the nostrils. So before we do that, we can just use our thumb for our right nostril, and we use our 4th finger for our left. So you can use your right hand and just practice using your thumbs. You can bend your 2 fingers in as well. So we'll just activate each one. Remember, these are practices you can do for much longer in your own time. So we'll start by activating our left nadi. So if you place your thumb lightly on your right nostril and keep your elbow out, and remember, we want to make sure that the chest is nice and open as well. So nice and slowly, we're going to close our eyes and we're just going to calmly take an inhale and exhale from our left nostril, remembering not to disturb that imaginary feather. In your own time, inhale. And exhale in your own time. No need to wait for me. Take your time. Remember to keep your breath really slow. Try and observe the heated air coming in, and the cool air coming in, and the heated air coming out. Once you've finished your exhale of your left nostril, just place your 4th finger on your left nostril, and we'll do the right. So just remember to keep that elbow out, and nice and slowly inhaling and exhaling on this side. Take your time. And exhaling whenever you need to. And when you finished your exhale, you can relax your hand down back onto the knee, and whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes with a few blinks. So we've just done 1 activation on each side. You're welcome to do this for much longer. 3 on each side is ideal, and we can now do the complete cycle. So a few things to remember when you're doing this is to remember that whichever side you started on is the same side you should finish on. So if you start on your left, which is what we'll be doing, we need to make sure we're finishing on our left. So today I'll show you 1 cycle, but ideally we want to be working in 3s. Okay, so working up, and 3 groups of 3 is always very, very good as well. It gives your body that time to get into the practice, and it's very good for bringing down our blood sugar levels. It's very good for bringing our anxiety, our stress. We have this little tissue just above our nose here, which tends to jump around. It brings that into balance as well. So this is very, very good practice for heart patients, any migraines. Nice and slow, as slowly as you possibly can. We want to be doing these practices. So I'll talk you through 1 cycle, and then in your own time you can practice for much longer. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend our index and middle finger and put them away, because that's not what we won't be needing them, and we'll be sitting up straight with our elbow. Okay, so again, the thumb belongs to the right nostril and the 4th finger belongs to the left, yeah? So your ring finger belongs to the left nostril. So we're just going to take a nice inhale with both of our nostrils, And as you exhale, you can press down your right nostril and you're going to exhale from your left. Now take your time as you're doing this. You can close your eyes. Take your time with that exhale. Remember that feather. And whenever you finished inhaling, exhaling from the left, we're going to now inhale from the same nostril, going as slowly as you can. As slowly as you can. Take your time. Breathing in with one nostril can be a little bit challenging, can be quite different to what we're normally used to. So take your time. And when you finish your inhale, just bring that ring finger onto the left, slight little pinch of both, lift your thumb off the right and exhale from the right. And in between this, we want to make sure we're not holding for too long. So keep that exhale going, nice light smile on the face. Keep the body nice and relaxed, keep exhaling. And whenever you finished exhaling, don't rush, take your time until everything is emptied, all the way down to the stomach. Take your inhale from that left nostril. Keep inhaling, taking your time. And then whenever you're ready, go for that little pinch again. So place that thumb onto the right, lift your left, and exhale from your left nostril, remembering that feather. So keep exhaling and hoping that when you are exhaling, the exhales are much longer than those inhales. So really, really exhale. We're cleansing out all of our passages here, and finish your exhale right down until you feel a little minor tightening in your core, just so that you know you've taken everything out. And when you've finished, you can place your hand down, and with a few blinks, you can open your eyes. So in practices like this, again, we can make sure we're increasing the numbers. The second kriya that we're going to do is the Bhastrika practice. So if you are a heart patient or any migraines or headaches or vertigos or anything like that, I would recommend to avoid this practice. Maybe do it one every, if you're not as severe, maybe do it one every other second or one every 3 seconds, but making sure that not putting a lot of pressure on the body. So you can carry on with the Anulom Vilom practice. That's also very, very good for you. And Bhastrika is a little bit more a heated practice, but more of a heated practice. And in this practice, you can sit in your Chinmaya Mudra as well, but we're actually just forcing the air out. So passive inhaling, that will happen itself, so we don't need to worry about that, but forceful exhaling. If you want to, you can put one hand very lightly on your stomach, just so you can observe its movement. Now we're only going to do about 10 to 15 pushes today, so we can understand the proper technique of doing this. But what we want to work towards is maybe half a minute, so one every second, so you can do 30 pushes or 60, working up to a minute. And you know, if you're young, fit, healthy and very, very active, and your heart condition allows it, okay, and also your mind allows it, we can start to build up to like 2 minutes as well. And when you complete these practices, you'll understand how everything is very relaxed. So without even standing up, we've heated up our body, we've burnt calories, we've worked our core, and we've cleaned out everything that we don't need from our lungs, and clearing out all of the passages from here. So this is where we might need those tissues. So before we begin, I just want to explain the sound that should be coming out from your nostrils. Try and remember to keep your throat relaxed as you're doing this as well. And you'll be making this sound. So when you exhale, the pressure will be coming out from the nose and your stomach muscles will move in. And as you're doing this, we're going to be doing this with our eyes closed. So as you're doing this, we really want to try and imagine that you can feel or you can see your stomach touching the back of your neck, because you'll be a slight little jerk as you're doing this. So we'll go for 10 pushes. We'll try and go for 1 per second. And again, any heart patients or issues with the brain or headaches or anything like that, please be very mindful when you're practicing this. Okay, so we'll go for 10 pushes. And you can close your eyes, and we'll start the practice with straight away going into the exhale. and then we can open our eyes. So just like all of the other practices, this is just a way to get us started and just an initial way to learn the proper technique. So again, we want to make sure we're working ourselves all the way up and really going for those 30 pushes, those 60, maybe 120 if you can as well. And when you do this with lots and lots of focus, you'll find that once you've finished, and especially after a long interval, you'll find that when you finish, you're actually just sitting and there's no inhaling necessary. Your lungs are at their most relaxed state, your stomach is nice and relaxed, and you're very, very calm. So it's a good way to try and make sure that we've cleaned out everything and we're inhaling minimum. Yeah, so want to make sure, especially during these testing times, that we're focusing on that. The last practice that we're going to do is the Bhramari, which is a humming practice. And this is a very good practice to induce meditation, to very helpful to help you meditate, to bring your mind into nice calmness, getting rid of our anxiety, focusing on what's on the inside, because let's face it, we are focusing a lot on what's happening outside at the moment. So remember, if you can't go out, we can go in. And this is a very good practice to help us with that. So with Bhramari, what you're going to do is we're going to be using the last two fingers to very lightly place them on our eyelids, and the remaining two will be either on our eyebrows / forehead, and your thumb will actually be near your eardrums, yeah, near your ears. And once I say inhale, we're going to be doing a round of 3. Again, you can practice this more and more, and you can increase your numbers in your own time. But with Bhramari, what we're doing is we're making a humming sound with our ears blocked and our fingers very lightly touching our eyes. Okay, so making sure that you're not pushing your eyelids in, but you're pushing your ears in. So you're blocking out any sound. And the sound that we're going to be make is a humming sound from the back of our throat. Almost like we're saying the word king, king, ng. The ng sound is what we were trying to do. So try and keep your tongue relaxed as you're doing this. And the reason it's called Bhramari is you might feel a little bit of vibration in your lip area or in your tongue inside as well. But these are practices to help us really bring our attention to inside our body. So making sure we're sitting up straight, we can get our fingers into the position, and we can very lightly just touch the ears. Now, once I say inhale, we're going to be pressing the thumbs into our ears and blocking out all of the sound. So sitting up nice and straight, placing those last two fingers on the eyes and remaining two fingers on the head, and making sure we're nice and comfortable to take those humming sounds as nice and loudly as we can. So inhale, press those ears in. Finished, you can relax your hands back onto your knees. Gulp your saliva to relax your throat. Very, very good practice for our throats as well. And we're going to make sure that we are sitting up nice and straight, finishing with our mantra, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. So, Namaskar Mudra in front of your chest. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. Sarve Santu Niramayaha. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's remember to all be happy and healthy. Let's all see the good in others. May we all be without any pain or illness. And most importantly, may we have peace, peace, and peace. So relax your hands behind your back, grab your right wrist with your left hand, and exhale and just bring our heads down to Mother Earth, always remembering to thank the Earth for everything she gives us. Return your hands to the front and start to rub your palms. Get lots of heat and energy inside them. Keep those chins up and palm your eyes nice and lightly. Enjoy the heat being transferred from your hands onto your eyes. Open your eyes inside your hands. Loosen the grip, and with every blink, just lift the eyelids even more. And nice big smiles and an even bigger stretch. And extend your namaskar all the way up, and remembering to think happy with our brains, to speak happy with our words, and to feel happy with our hearts. Namaste.